Welcome to an episode of Canadian Stacker. Sorry I haven't been on the last few days. It's been Canada Day long weekend. Things have been absolutely crazy. 4 for the 4th is today. Oh my goodness, we've arrived. Oh, and John, I did get finally your package. So you can stop worrying about that. We're good to go. So what's been going on the last few days for me? Well, as you can see, this is where I usually film, or up here. Well, now the water's dropped immensely, and like I said, the rocks are starting to come out in the middle of the river. You know, things are getting easier for the crew now. The biggest wave here is about this little guy here that's only about 3.5 feet, and then the little bit of a lip there was about 3.5, 4 feet. But yeah, so what's going on in the world right now? Oh my gosh, man, all of the people are just out there screaming, "Here comes the CBDC's, death to the world," and singing Kumbaya. You know what I think's going on? I literally think that basically the world is so left or so right that whenever the left gets in, I'm just moving out of the sun, or the right gets in, one side or the other freaks out. End of the world, end of days. And you know, I do see problems in the economy, but nothing like that's going to crash everything tomorrow. Sure, we're 31 trillion in debt in the US. We're almost 2 trillion in debt in Canada. But let's be realistic here. China is rapidly pulling into a hole of its own. Russia's embroiled in a war that they can't afford. I'm not saying that they're not having an economy, and I'm not saying that they're having a success, but let's be realistic here. Russia cannot compete against the economies of the West. I'm sure they've got the oil, but the West has everything else. You know, like, and even still, if you look at Canada, we have enough oil out west that if we really wanted to, we could supply the entire world for 100 years. Like, literally, that's the statistics. The U.S. has untapped strategic reserves. They could turn this around in a dime. You know, like within 2 years, we'd be pumping out oil so much that the price would drop. Why is the price going up and down? It's manipulated, yes, but we need to make money off of it, right? We can't just give it to you for 15 cents a gallon. You know, like, yeah, that'd be great, but let's be realistic. People got to eat, right? So oil going up, oil going down, it's in and out. Yeah, okay, our inflation numbers are a bit high, sure, but let's be realistic on those as well. We had the same problem in the 70s, and we had the same problem just before World War II. What do I think is going to wind up happening with this whole inflation thing? We're trying to get our debt under control. That's why they're doing this inflation thing. You know, they're trying to inflate faster so that the money supply increases, so that the debt becomes smaller, and they destroy the debt. Inflation destroys debt. Everybody's like, oh no, inflation's going to wreck us. Well, inflation is bad, okay? Don't get me wrong. I hate inflation. However, if you look at it from a government point of view, 6% inflation means the debt got 6% smaller for them to service, because GDP also probably went up 6%, right? Because people are spending more money asking for pay raises. So that 31 trillion just became 6% smaller. What does that do? Lops $1 trillion off that debt burden from last year. And, you know, if we really look at the GDP to the debt ratio, if we just go back to 2017 levels, 2018 levels, pre-pandemic levels for spending, we could pay off the debt. Everybody's like, oh no, we're going into this giant hole. If we literally just cut all of that extra spending out that came in for COVID, we could pay the debt. So, let's stop with this FOMO of the stock market's going to implode. Yeah, sure, okay, the Fed's propping it up. Everybody's screaming, Fed's propping up the stock market, Fed's buying this. Well, the entire world's playing the same game, okay? China's playing the same game with theirs. Russia's playing the same game with theirs. Everybody's playing this game of musical chairs. So let's pick a chair and sit down and watch. Why FOMO? If you've been stacking for years, you're already in position for this. If you're prepped, you know, for a year or more, you're already prepped for this. Okay, great, there's a nuclear holocaust. What the heck can we do about that? Zero. We can't stop it. Why waste our sleep over it? Me, I go to bed really comfy on my pillow every night. You know why I go comfy on my pillow every night? Because I don't stick my thumb in my mouth and suck Vladimir Putin bad every night. I think to myself, Vladimir doesn't want to die. Biden doesn't want to die. Xi Jinping doesn't want to die. If you push the button, everybody has probably a 35% chance of going right up immediately in a mushroom cloud, or quickly followed up by a 30 to 40% chance of having to eat your neighbors to have food. So in that kind of a situation, they've all built bunkers. But the thing is in 10 years, when they can start coming out? Do you think they want to come out into a radioactive wasteland with 200 million hungry people that just want to eat them all? You know, like, let's be realistic here. Nobody wants that. If they wanted that, Russia would have already went Kiev bad and there would have been a cobalt bomb. Like, let's be real. You know why they don't want you? Because the US, and Great Britain and France and all of them said, you push, we push. There's a radiological incident, we come in. So this news of Russia is going to blow up a power plant, it's a load of malarkey. I don't see the Russians doing it. The Ukrainians, they don't have the technology to really do it. Like, these babies are made to just take hit after hit after hit from stuff like massive airplanes. Like, you would have to slam like literally dozens of Tomahawk cruise missiles into one of those plants to make it cook off or get a radiological release. Like, I've been at these plants. I've helped build these plants. They're the size of like a small city of 15,000 all crammed into one spot. The concrete walls on these things are like 10, 20 foot thick. You would have to have a Western power, a real big one, or you'd have to have like Russia literally rain fiery HE double hockey sticks down on it to get these things to go off. So unless somebody decides they want to prove that they're doing it and make sure that we all know that they're doing it and we know who to point the finger at, it's not gonna happen. Now to France, oh my gosh, it's burning to the ground. Oh no, that's it, Macron will never recover. No, you know, he only got 35% of the vote last time. Everybody hates Macron. Let's be realistic here. France protests constantly. Did you guys forget about the yellow vests from 2018? They went away. The only reason why they went away was because of COVID. If it wasn't for that, they would still be protesting probably in yellow vests saying, I want my 62-year retirement age. You know, because that was what that was about. And if you go before that, like literally 5 or 6 years before that, they were protesting. You know, 5 or 6, every election cycle, France decides to crap the bed. You know, like they literally do this all the time. And, you know, we have these young people that are in their 20s, you know, 20 to 30 that haven't seen the cycle before. And they all just start sucking down this content. And they pile into these YouTube channels and they're like, please feed me my dose of stupidity today, because I literally need to be scared for my life and go bye, bye, bye. No, not this stacker, not anybody that's been watching my channel. We're not doing any of that, right? We're not sucking into this this fear and FOMO Bidenomics that some other channels are pushing. I won't name names, but like, let's be realistic here. Joe Biden's not running nothing. It's not Bidenomics. It's background people-onomics. Like, literally, all politicians are bought and paid for. The president's bought and paid for. Justin's bought and paid for. Special interest groups pay for these things. You know, like, you got BlackRock buying people. You got the Rothschilds. Everybody forgot who they are. Just look at that. I just got monetized right there. You know, we've got George Soros, and we've got all of these rich people that want the world to go a certain way in their area. It's like, why is Canadian oil not being pulled down to the U.S. in a pipeline? It's because the Koch brothers own the rail lines in the U.S. They paid sugar tons of money to all of the friggin' greenies up here in Canada who laid on everything and said, oh, we hate it, for like years. And then they decided to do the same thing down in the U.S. and, you know, pay Joe, you know, an election. Joe, you got to get rid of this. And what did Joe do? Voted out. Why? Because the Koch brothers own the rail lines. They don't want to lose rail traffic. They're much more happy with their trains pulling the oil down. If not, all the money flows into the company that owns it, which is, you know, a Canadian-owned company. You know, nobody wants that in the U.S. So, you know, let's be real. You know, like, this is all, if you look at it and read, it's all a smoke and mirrors thing. But there's one thing I bet, if you know this, okay, put a 1 in the channel, okay? Leave a comment with a 1 that you knew what I said before I said it. The whole time the Keystone Pipeline was being put in, 4 other pipelines with the same volume and commitment level as Keystone were being built privately but not talked about on the news. So when they said, oh, we're not going to run Keystone to the U.S., everybody was putting up a cheer, but 4 pipelines during that complaining and whining time got built. You know, and another pipeline in Ontario got reversed to flow oil the other way. You know, so like the whole time all these protests, it's just distractions. It's just distractions. The U.S. wants cheaper oil prices right now because they want Russia broke. The U.S. wants cheaper oil prices right now because they want Iran broke. The U.S. wants cheaper oil prices because they want Saudi Arabia to get down on their knees and kiss Biden's ring. That's why they want cheaper oil prices right now. But if it's a stable world, stable, okay? If let's say it was geopolitically stable and the US was currently 100% in the driver's seat, oil price would be back up where it was when Stephen Harper was in office, around $140 a barrel. American. 140 bucks American. We all forgot about that, didn't we? Oil used to be 140 bucks. You know, now it's down in the 70s, wherever it is right now, or 80s, because that's where the elite want it currently, to crush anybody who's ticking them off. You know, we had a geopolitically stable time after the financial crash. It pulled down demand, it did all this stuff, it allowed the US to consolidate. All these wonderful things wound up happening, right? So, of course, you know, oil prices slowly crawled down, so did the price of fuel. It made Barack Obama's last term and you know, half of it in Trump's term look amazing because, you know, like the price of oil were low. But now, at the end of Trump's term, Russia was lining up on the border. You know, they're like, oh my gosh, depends on who wins the election on what we're going to do. And I truly believe that Trump had an amazing message, okay, where he said the other day, he was asked a question, who do you want to win? Do you want the Russians to win, or do you want Ukraine to win? And he just said, look right straight into the camera, I want people to stop dying. I want people to stop dying. And the hostess looked at him and said, but you're not telling us, you know, what side do you want? Do you want Russia or Ukraine to win? I just don't want anyone to die. That's what he said. And if I get elected, the war will be over in 24 hours. Because I'm going to do something that's going to stop it. Because people don't want to die. I don't care, you know, who wins or who loses. I just want people to stop dying. Like, come on, who can't get behind that message? Who cannot get behind that message? I'm a Canadian, okay? Trump said a lot of bad things about Canada back in the last election. I'm a truck driver. I go to the US all the time. Americans, okay, you need to wake the heck up. I'm not saying Trump's like the Messiah or anything, because he's not. But Trump, with what he was doing, was so much better for you economically. It hurt us up here in Canada. Trump was hurting us. Trump was hurting Mexico. Trump was hurting China. Trump was doing everything in his power to try to slow down the dribble. And I'm not some Trump boy either, because he's got lots of problems of his own. I could get into all of those. But economically speaking, why do you want Biden? What is he doing for you? You know, yeah, he's doing this economic policies that look great. Biden, you know, he's going to do what he's going to do, and the world's going to change the way it's going to be. But if you're looking at it from a viewpoint of dying, okay, just death and not wanting people to starve to death in the U.S., you know, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, if I had to pick between voting for Justin Trudeau or voting for Trump, I would pick a Trump-style leader. I will not vote for Pierre Poilievre. He's another clown. He's just another shill that's on the list of people. Like, let's be realistic here. Nobody in Canada that's running is of any worth. You know, like the NDP, the Greens, all of the leaders, they all want the WEF to come in and get in the driver's seat up here in Canada. They're saying that Canada is the freer country than the US. Like, we're in the top 15 economically free countries in the world. Malarkey. Malarkey. If I was an economically free country, when the protests came up and all that in the trucker convoy, my bank account wouldn't have been locked. I'm allowed to protest. I have the right to protest. But no. You give a donation, you get locked out. Justin Trudeau just put out Bill C, I think it's C13 or C18, completely neutering the television networks. Telling them what they can put on news, telling them what they can put out for music, telling them what channels they can watch. It can only be government-approved stuff, because, you know, otherwise you're not going to get government sponsors, or you'll get the PP slapped. You know, and I'm a Canadian content creator, okay? I love my country. I love Canada. I'm in the national park for Canada right now on the Ottawa River. So I am filming at a historical waterway. See that? I'm putting in my pump for my country. Oh, here comes my crew, so I got to wrap this up. But anyways, today's 4 for the 4th. I hope this video gets uploaded before I wind up running 4 for the 4th. I'm going to try to get it popped on this afternoon around 2 or 3 o'clock, and I'll be on between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending on Hammie. Now, he has autism, and I love my son, but sometimes he's hard to get to bed. So if I'm late and it's not right at 8:30, I'll be on before 9:30, all right? So until next time, keep your thumb to the sky, keep on being awesome, and keep stacking, okay? And have a great and amazing day. Bye for now.